Hello everyone and welcome to the NASA Science Career Path Navigator tool. This is just a short video to demonstrate how to navigate around our tool. We're hopeful that this will help scientists both within NASA as well as external to NASA to learn more about career paths and career opportunities. I'd like to start first here with our URL. You'll find our tool here at sciencecareers.apps.nasa.gov. This is our home page. First, I'd like to feature our menu bar across the top of our home page, which you'll also find at the top of all of the pages throughout our tool. The first tab here is NASA Science Orgs. If I open this up, it's going to give me a list of the NASA centers, as well as our lab partners at the Applied Physics Laboratory, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and then two science organizations at NASA headquarters, the Science Mission Directorate and the Office of the Chief Scientist. Any of these links will open up and give a brief description of the science programs at those locations. The next tab is Career Tracks. These are the 5 career tracks that are featured throughout our tool. It's also the same 5 tracks you see here in our graphic. This is simply a different way or an additional way of navigating to those sites. The next tab is Career Levels, and these are the career levels that are featured throughout our tool. Again, you open up any of these and it'll give a definition or an idea of the types of science roles at each of these career levels. The next tab here is Career Path Maps. This is kind of a unique feature of our tool where we've decided to highlight some of the more prominent science roles and showcase how one can navigate to those positions. And I'll show you that in just a few minutes. This last tab here, Explore NASA Science. I'm not going to open it up, but if I were, it would leave this site and will open up the NASA Science website. Over to the right are 3 more buttons. This one here is the Home button, and that's simply going to bring you back to this home page. The next one is a roadmap legend, and this is just, again, a different way of navigating to these particular tracks. You'll also see this color swirl throughout our career tracks, and this just represents an opportunity for a career track transition. And then this last tab here is, if you open it up, it's navigational instructions to give you some tips to how to navigate each of our web pages. All right, so this graphic here, you see there's 5 tracks: supervision, mission, research analysis and application, technology development, and science program management. If you hover over any of these titles, it's going to open up and give you a brief summary of what that track entails. You see I have 3 tracks here in the center, what I call the core science tracks. So mission, research, and technology development. They're intentionally drawn very close parallel to each other and intermingled. And this is just to demonstrate the fact that this core science work, that many scientists work in these 3 tracks possibly at the same time, or maybe very easily navigate between these 3 tracks over time throughout their career. These other 2 tracks, the supervision track and the science management track, these are more distinct tracks, more distinct roles. It's likely that a scientist will change their job description, maybe even change their organization or location change to go into one of these tracks. The other bit of information to show you on this home page is down here, the early, mid, and senior level buttons. If you hover or click on them, they'll give you a description of the types of roles that scientists have at the early, mid, or senior level part of their career. So let's go ahead and open up one of these tracks, and I'll start off with the research track. I'm intentional about starting off with that because that is the most common track of the 5 tracks, and many of our scientists will start their career in the research track. At the top here, if you were to hover on this tab, it'll once again give you that same definition of what this track entails. You'll see that the jobs are classified at the early level, mid-level, as well as the senior level, and these white boxes are what I call position boxes, and each of these will open up and give a description of those roles. You'll see these arrows and these icons. These are, again, opportunities to shift over to a different track, and if you click on any of those, it will take you over to that track. So let's go ahead and open up one of these position boxes. This first one here, the principal investigator of the research track. On this page here, it gives you an indication of what the career level is, a summary of the roles and responsibilities of a principal investigator in the research track, where the position resides. Each of these boxes will open up and it'll give you a definition or a description of the science programs at those locations, ideal skills and competencies, as well as suggested development activities. Over on the right side, you'll see color-coded. Again, you'll see throughout our site that everything is color-coded by career track. And these are possible positions that may be feeder positions to the principal investigator role. And then these positions here are possible growth opportunities from the principal investigator role. And I'm able to go ahead and click on one of these, and it gives you a description of what this particular feeder position of a research scientist, what that job might involve. And you see in this particular one, there's a number of different possible alternative titles, because from one organization to another, they may call the position something different or something unique. Over here to the right, you still have the feeder roles leading to this particular position, as well as the growth roles. And you see that some of these positions are highlighted in gray. And that's because these positions are here for informational purposes only. They're not defined or contained in our tool, so they're not clickable as these other positions would be. And you always have this go back button, which allows you to go back to where you were. Another unique feature about our site is our unique URL across the top. So for every position that's defined within our site, this unique URL you can copy and paste and share with someone if you choose to do so. So I'm going to go back to our home page and just quickly show you that these three core science tracks all look the same. So the mission has roles at the early level, the mid-level, and the senior level. Going back to the home page again, technology development, again, it's based on career level and then the positions that are highlighted at each of those levels. The two that are unique are the supervisor track and the science program management track. Those two tracks are based more on organization rather than career level. So here we have a choice of looking at the supervisory track at NASA centers, at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Applied Physics Laboratory, as well as NASA headquarters. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the NASA Center one. And one of the caveats that you'll see here at the bottom of the page is that each NASA Center is unique, and the science programs might be structured differently or different size. And so therefore the organizational structure or the career paths and the titles may look different from one organization, one center to another. But here you have, as an example, the lowest organization level at a NASA Center might be a branch, might be called a lab. The next organizational level is likely a division, and then the highest organization level is likely a directorate. And again, you can open up any of these and it's going to give you a description of that position, some feeder roles to that position, and some growth roles to that position. Going back again to our home page, the science program management, very similar to the supervisor track, that it is also based on organizational structure. You'll find science program management roles at a NASA center or a lab, as well as headquarters at the Office of the Chief Scientist or the Science Mission Directorate. And again, each of these will open up and give you a brief definition of that role. Coming back to our home page, the last thing I'd like to feature is our career path maps. And so again, this is, we chose some of the more prominent positions, and it allows you to see how one might get there. I'm going to open up again the principal investigator and the research track. And one thing to note is these are some of the common paths that one may take to become a principal investigator in the research track. It is not the only path that one may take. So on this tool, on these maps, what you'll see is the target position. So in this case, it's the senior level principal investigator in the research track. If I hover over it, it shows you the immediate positions that may connect to this role or may lead to this role. And then you can kind of go over to the left to see how one may get there. So if you're looking to become a principal investigator at the senior level, a deputy principal investigator may lead there, a supervisory position may lead there, a principal investigator in the mid-level may lead there, as well as an instrument manager. And you can kind of just map it backwards and take a look. Just like our position boxes on those career tracks, any of these open up. So if I want to look to see what a data scientist does, open that up, and it again gives me that information. I can go back and puts me back there. One more that I'll show you is the project scientist. If you open that up, it looks a little bit different in terms of the thickness of the lines, and that's just indicative of how many positions feed into one of these boxes. But you see some of the feeder positions to a project scientist, and you can go backwards and see how one might map their career to get to this particular position. But those are the main features of our site. I'll come back here to our home page. And I hope this video is helpful, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you.